My name is Jenna Spanola. I am from a town called Wheaton, Illinois, and that's just 45 minutes outside of Chicago.
Okay, and you are diagnosed with ADHD. When were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in 5th grade. It was like early 5th grade, but previously, like from elementary school, they were seeing that I was having problems. I had to sit in like the way back of the class because I was too distracting. I had to get sent to like one of like those rooms, like special rooms, where I had to be taught things like separately on my own because I could not pay attention in class, and my parents just thought I was a bad kid. Like I was a bad kid. They thought I just didn't, give a shit about grades or anything, until they brought me in to like get me like really looked at, and then I was diagnosed with ADHD. So.
And well, just how did that make you feel? How did that experience make you feel?
I didn't understand what it was. When I was younger, I literally just was like, oh, there's something wrong with my brain. But then as time grew on, going from elementary school to middle school to high school to college, it was just, I could just tell. I was like, wow, like this is just who I am. This is what I have to live with, essentially. I've had to bounce from medication to medication. I was on probably 4 different types of meds, just like jumping between the two, because some made me really drowsy, some made me really angry, like irritable, some made me just not myself, until I finally set on, oh my god, the pronunciation is like really hard to see, but it's like atomoxine, it's called, and I'm on a very like a light dosage because too much will make me feel like sick almost to my stomach. But this one has helped me a lot with being able to sit and focus, because a lot of the time for me it's just mental than it is like physical, where you see the difference between like men and women, where men are more physically shown that they have ADHD, where women it's mental. And so a lot of myself, I tend to like lose track of focus in class, or I just like lose track in conversations, and I always have to like find some way to veer back. But with this medication that I'm on now, it's helped me so much with kind of staying on track and staying focused.
Has having ADHD affected your relationships, either romantic or friendships?
I'd say with like relationship wise, it's made me like, I don't know. Sometimes when I forget to take my meds, I just am very forgetful, obviously. And a lot of it has stemmed from mainly like relationship with my parents. And it's not like it's a bad relationship. Me and my parents have like really close relationship, but when they kept asking me to do things, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go do them, but then I get sidetracked, and then I get lost, and then I get so thrown off track that I forgot what they even asked me to do, or what I was gonna do in the first place. And they would get frustrated with that. I would get frustrated with myself, because I'm like, oh my god, why can't I remember? Like, why is my brain this way that I can't do this? And then I start to get a lot of anxiety from being so thrown off track that it like makes me spiral into a like almost depressive episode of where I just can't do anything. I just have to like sit and be with myself before I can even try and go back to what I was supposed to be doing. And then my parents just wouldn't understand, and then but they eventually learned that like since I got older, I'm like very more self-sufficient of keeping track of things now, since I have like a set routine for myself. So, but that was like when I was younger, it was a really hard thing to get by with my parents. So having a routine is very easy for me to know what like day to day I'm supposed to do. It's harder now because I only have classes Monday and Wednesday, but thankfully I have practices at night for dance, which is also something that helps me cope. And then I just try to find stuff in between to just do work, all that stuff. I like having a routine, but at the same time it's so troubling for me because I try to use a planner, but a planner just does not work for me. For some reason, you would think that a planner would work, but writing down everything makes me just so off track. I start with one thing of like, okay, I have to go get laundry done, but then I go to do it, I see trash on the ground, I go to throw out the trash, and then I'm like, oh my god, the dishes, I go do the dishes. I try to do that, and then I'm like, oh my god, my roommate's dog needs to go out to go to the bathroom, I gotta go take him out, and then I lose sight of everything, and then I forgot I'm supposed to call somebody. So just having a planner somehow just does not work, and I don't know how, but that's just how it is for my brain. So, you know, I try to read. Reading also helps because I try to like practice, because with how I am, I lose track of what I'm reading. So I think trying to get into reading more has helped me like cope with it, but also work with it, if that makes sense. But I'm a drawer, I paint, I do photography, so a lot of that like helps me cope with it. I really like to talk to people about what I'm dealing with, and it's like better to communicate of what's happening than not saying anything at all, or else people are not gonna understand. So like talking it out with my best friend, who just recently got diagnosed, and she didn't know, and I'm 22 and she's 22. So just now, at the age of 22, she got diagnosed. So we can both talk to each other about it, since I've been diagnosed longer than she has. So she comes to me and asks, can we talk about things? My boyfriend doesn't have it, but he wants to understand more of like how to kind of like help me and work with me about it. So I definitely think that talking it out has really helped me like come to terms with it. And I think that it's just helped my mental state better to kind of just push it out there. Just so people can understand and be like, this is how I have to do things, and this is what I go through, so.